This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 925, How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of AffordAnything.com. And I am Dan, I'm your host here on the show. Welcome to another edition of Optimal Finance Daily, where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs on the planet. And if you have any ideas for us about topics for future shows, please share those by visiting oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. And thanks to Fundrise for their support of this podcast. They're frequently mentioned as a recommended tool in the blogs that I narrate right here, and for good reason. Fundrise enables you to instantly access high-quality, high-potential private market real estate projects, from high-rises in D.C. to multifamily apartments in L.A., and each real estate project is carefully vetted and actively managed by Fundrise's team of real estate pros. Fundrise is the future of real estate investing. Visit fundrise.com/OFD. That's fundrise.com/OFD to have your first 3 months of fees waived. For now, let's get right to the post and start optimizing your life. How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of AffordAnything.com. When I started freelancing, I thought I'd reached the pinnacle of worker freedom. Every morning I pour a cup of coffee, pull on a warm, fuzzy pair of slippers, and plod into my home office. I watch commuters battle the busy streets while I wear pajamas at my desk. I thought this was the goal, but it's only the starting line. Sure, I work for myself, but I still trade my time for money. I write for magazines and websites, but I don't own those magazines or websites. Freelancers enjoy freedom. People with traditional jobs enjoy security and benefits. Yet we share a common shortcoming. We aren't the owners. We have income, but no assets. At least, not yet. This idea has been kicking around in my head for a few months, but it gelled this week after I read Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. It's an old-school book. At several points, the author advises people to listen to cassette tapes. But if you can overlook the obvious 1990s references, the wisdom in this book is classic. Kiyosaki classifies people into 4 groups: employees, the self-employed, business owners, and investors. Listen to a person's words, he says, and you'll have a window into which mindset they hold. The employee says, "I'm looking for a job with good pay and excellent benefits." The self-employed says, "My rate is $35 an hour," or "I charge a 6% commission." The business owner says, "I need to hire a president who will run my company." And the investor says, "My team will study the valuation of that company." Loads of people, myself included, operate in multiple roles. Most of my income comes from my self-employment, but I play the role of an investor as I foray into real estate. Your mindset matters more than the current source of your income. What kind of mentality do you have? An employee mindset or an entrepreneur mindset? That's why none of Kiyosaki's books contain how-to information. Instead, there are conceptual guides on the psychology of ownership, freedom, and wealth. What is wealth anyway? In this book, Kiyosaki defines wealth as the number of days you can survive without working and still maintain your standard of living. He says, quote, "Wealth is measured in time, not dollars," end quote. So if your expenses are $2,000 per month and you have savings of $10,000, your wealth amounts to 5 months. Your goal, therefore, is to create a lifetime of self-sustaining wealth. 7 levels of investors. Since many people benefit from self-exploration, Kiyosaki outlines the 7 levels of investors. Which one are you? Level 0. You have nothing to invest because you spend everything you earn. Level 1. You borrow money to afford your lifestyle. If you invest, you do it with borrowed money. Many outwardly rich people fall into this category. Level 2. You're a saver. You put money into safe vehicles like savings accounts, CDs, and money market accounts. You save for the sake of later consumption, for example, saving for a vacation or a house, rather than saving to invest. Level 3. You participate in the company 401k plan, and you might even have a non-retirement mutual fund or 2, but you also say things like, "I don't have time to learn about investing," or "I'll leave it to a professional." Some Level 3 investors read the Wall Street Journal, buy a stock based on a hot tip, and think that they're a player in the game. They name drop, like, "My brother at Merrill Lynch says," so they can feel like a bigger player. But deep down, they're following the crowd. Level 4. You have a long-term plan or idea. You invest in tax-advantaged ways and take advantage of dollar-cost averaging. You have minimal debt and admire Warren Buffett. According to The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko, most self-made millionaires are level 4 investors. They own a business, drive a used car, and invest in tax-advantaged ways for the long term. Level 5. You have a solid financial foundation, so now you pursue bigger, more aggressive investments. You focus your investments in a few areas in which you're highly knowledgeable. Perhaps you own a shopping center or a 40-unit condominium building. You have a formal or informal team of coaches, mentors, and advisors that you use as a sounding board. Level 6. You are among the Kennedys, Rockefellers, Fords, Gettys, and Perot's. You create the stocks that other investors buy. What does this mean? This leads to one conclusion. Self-employment is great, but not needing employment, self or otherwise, is the true goal. Freedom isn't being your own boss. It's the ability to fire any boss, including yourself. You can choose to work, but you're not forced to trade time for dollars. Work is optional. You create this through owning investments, such as stock, real estate, or businesses. These investments should generate cash flow or passive income that you can live on. The asset or principal stays untouched. You live on the dividends and income. Challenge accepted. 2016 update. I wrote this blog post in 2011. It feels surreal. Today, my real estate investments create enough passive cash flow to cover my bills. I can sustain my current standard of living indefinitely through my investment income alone. I disclose my cash flow to share my performance and lessons with the world. Looking back at my 2011 articles reminds me of how far a person can come in 5 years. I hope this motivates you to build assets, whether they be stocks, real estate, or businesses. I hope you take action, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish in the next 5 years. You just listened to the post titled, How to Create an Owner Mindset by Paula Pant of affordanything.com. And thank you again to Fundrise for their support. It's frequently mentioned in articles from our authors right here on the podcast because it's a great tool. Come by fundrise.com/OFD to have your first 3 months free. Private market real estate has historically provided excellent ongoing cash flow, even as it supports long-term growth. Private market assets like these are a strategy for diversifying beyond public market investments and even other kinds of real estate, like publicly traded REITs. And Fundrise is the future of real estate investing. The platform's innovations power an investor-first model by eliminating the bloated costs and middlemen that have traditionally weighed down real estate investing, saving investors time and money. Unparalleled transparency and real-time reporting let you see how the development of specific properties impact your overall portfolio. So check it out. Visit fundrise.com/OFD. That's fundrise.com/OFD to have your first 3 months of fees waived. And that's it for today and for the week here on Optimal Finance Daily. Thank you so much for listening and have yourself a great weekend. I'm going to see you right back here on Monday. That's where your optimal life awaits.